Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video we will see or we will discuss about how we can analyze a simple vapor compression cycle. It comes under the chapter or module refrigeration cycle in applied thermodynamics syllabus. This is a schematic diagram which represents simple vapor compression cycle. I hope everyone knows how a simple vapor compression cycle. I had explained in the previous video, where if you have any doubt just go back and watch that video and come back here. And we all know that there are four processes which simple vapor compression cycle undergoes. First process is evaporation, where it absorbs the heat from the place where we want to maintain the temperature at particular level. Then second process is the compression process. And third one is the condensation, and final one is the expansion process. Now in this video we discuss about how we can analyze with respect to the quality of the steam which is generated at the end of the compression process. First, we take we consider the state or the quality of the steam as dry and saturated at the end of the compression. The point itself, the quality of the steam itself says that it's a dry and exactly saturated steam. That means it lies exactly on the saturated line on the TS diagram. It will neither before or after the saturation line. It's 100% dry saturated steam. No moisture present in the steam. That is the condition they are given. This is the four processes of the vapor compression cycle in the TS diagram. They explained in this diagram. 1 to 2 represent the evaporation, 2 to 3 is the compression, 3 to 4 condensation, and 4 to 1 is the expansion process. And let us see how a COP or coefficient of performance of simple vapor compression cycle is derived for this condition. We know that COP is defined as the ratio between the refrigerating effect or heat extracted from the surrounding or the system where we want to maintain the temperature at that particular level to the work done of the system. So we can mathematically or graphically represent the heat extracted in the TS diagram as area covered by the surface 2, 1, G, F and 2. The work done we can represents by the area of the surface 2, 3, 4, B and 2. And if we replace that by enthalpy representation, we get heat extraction is the difference between the enthalpy at the end state H2 and initial state 1, H2 minus H1. And same way work done or work input as the enthalpy difference between the end state of the compression process 3 and the initial process of the compression, initial state of the compressor, that is 2. So COP is nothing but H2 minus H1 divided by H3 minus H2, and we also know that H1 is equal to H4 because the expansion is the isenthalpic process. So I can replace H1 by H4. The final answer comes like this: H2 minus H4 divided by H3 minus H2. This is the value for COP. If you know this enthalpy value, then you can easily calculate the COP, and we can take this value from the steam table which you might have experienced in previous syllabus, that is basic thermodynamics itself. The second state is when the vapor is superheated after the compression, and the TS diagram which you are seeing in this slide is clearly explains about this. Since the quality of the steam at the end of the compression is superheated, it will be lies beyond the saturation line of the TS diagram. And 3 days, from 3 to 3 days it will be in superheated state, and the moment it reaches 3 days it comes to the exactly the saturated condition, dry saturated steam. And it travels, the condensation process is divided into two categories, that is from 3 to 3 days and 3 days to 4. So if you want to calculate the value of H3, we need to add H3 dash plus H, the difference between these two gap. So for this condition, the COPS we get the COPS H2 minus H1 divided by H3 minus H2, where H1 is equal to H4 and H3 we can represent as H3 plus Cp into T superheated minus T saturation for per kilojoule per kilogram of fluid circulation or the refrigerant circulation. The H3 dash is nothing but total heat of dry unsaturated vapor at the point 3 dash. The third condition is when the vapor is wet after the compression. Since it is wet, it will not be lie exactly on the saturation line, or it will not be on the saturation line. It will be before the saturation line. The end point of these 3 will also depends upon the dryness fraction, the quality of the wet steam. And in this condition, we kept this as this 3 as the end point of the compression. So the TS diagram varies according to the quality of the steam at the end of the compression. Again, if we use the same usual procedure, we get COPS H2 minus H1 divided by H3 minus H2, where H3 is the enthalpy of wet steam. And in the vapor or the compression process divided in 2 categories based on the quality of the steam that it produces. If the vapor is not superheated after compression, then the operation is called wet compression. If the vapor is superheated at the end of the compression, then it is called as dry compression. And this is the pressure enthalpy chart of the steam any condition. And this is one of the useful chart where we can calculate the various parameter properties of the steam based on the available quality, available value. And in this refrigeration, we used to use this chart to calculate the or identify or locate the enthalpy of the quality of the steam. And this is how it looks. And actually, a simple vapor compression cycle in the PKS chart, it looks like this. That's it, guys. That is the end of this video. We will meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye and be safe.